Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. And yeah, you saw the title right. At the moment that this video goes public, will officially be considered unsupported. And yeah, I'm gonna miss Windows 8.1. But why, Nathan? Steel 64, I know that you probably already know it, but I really actually kind of liked Windows 8.1. I know it's not a very popular opinion, but Windows 8.1 was one of my favorite versions of Windows. Tied with Windows 7 and right behind Windows Vista. In fact, for context, this is a Windows Vista calendar program and I use it nowadays, and I still use it to this day. If you didn't see Goodbye to Windows 7, a video I made which was kind of late to the party, I looked at a scratch project I made myself that was supposed to be a simulator of Windows 7, and instead of me taking a look at the aspects of it. Now I'm not gonna cover the aspects of Windows 7 in this video, but I'm gonna cover some of the features that made Windows 8.1 and Windows 8 unique compared to both its predecessors and its successors. And we're also going to take a look at a scratch project that is supposed to be similar to Windows 8. But Nathan, you never made a scratch project that was a Windows 8.1 simulator. Yeah, I know, Steel 64, which is why which was a prototype for SteelOS called SteelOS 1.0 Build 203, which I made. And in case you're wondering, I came up with the actual design for SteelOS, and I might make a video about the operating system in the future, but I don't know how long into the future, because it's probably, all I know is that if it's in the future, it might not be for a while, because I'm going to try and focus on more normal and more well-known computer things. But before I get into that, I want to explain a bit about Windows 8.1. So, Windows 8.1 was released in 2013. It was supposed to be an update to Windows 8, which I think Windows 8 is pretty much discontinued by now. I don't know. But Windows 8.1 was a update to Windows 8 because people didn't like the fact that there was no start button on the original Windows 8. So Microsoft added a start button back to Windows in Windows 8.1. So yeah, there you go. When are we gonna get to the Windows 8.1 simulator that you made? Steel 64, that will be right now. And yeah. So this is a scratch project I made which was supposed to be inspired by Windows 8.1, and I didn't complete the entire thing because I forgot to add a clock in this one, and yeah, this project isn't really, and this has now been spun off as, this project was unofficial, and it pretty much has been spun off as a side, and it will be spun off as a side project because I once I actually get around to it, and another project because I finalized the interface design of SteelOS after this. But yeah, so yeah. And also there's a Windows 8.1. Oh no, I do not want you to use my microphone. So this is pretty much supposed to be similar to Windows 8.1, but is not. We can go into the appearance thingy right here. Just gonna go with that. How did you get my one of my testing computers? I don't know, Steel 64. In fact, I didn't, because, well, yeah. That's... anyway, enough with that, I'll just... This is a clock program. We're not going to go into that. The memo. This is very bad. Yeah, you can see that I was counting to the every time that I hit the A key, because if you couldn't tell, then sometimes it registers a key twice, and sometimes it doesn't register a key at all sometimes. But anyway, this isn't a very useful. And then we get to the manual, which is, well, a manual. So I'm just going to do that. So just like the Windows 7 simulator that I made, it isn't very feature-packed. It's definitely not feature-packed compared to the actual SteelOS 1.0. So before I close out this video, I want to have a few words. I'm really going to miss Windows 8.1. Thanks for watching this video. I will see you next week. Bye.